All right, welcome back to another episode of the Pin High Podcast presented by Golficity. We're going to be talking about Kevin Kisner's win at the Wyndham. We're going to talk a little about the Ryder Cup, and obviously we're going to be breaking down the Northern Trust at Liberty National ahead of the FedEx Cup Playoffs. So we'll talk about all the storylines going into the next 3 weeks of tournaments. So let's get into it. Let's get inside the ropes. There's a lot to talk about this week, just in terms of like the FedEx Cup playoffs, what the Wyndham meant for the FedEx Cup playoffs, like looking forward to just like the next, 3 weeks of tournaments, as well as like, there's probably a little break in between there, barely. And then there's the Ryder Cup. So a lot to talk about. So Kevin Kisner won this week. I didn't pick it. Actually, I didn't place a bet on it, which kind of sucks, but I did pick it on the podcast at 50-1. So another big win for the podcast.
Yeah. Pat wasn't even on the podcast, and he got.
I was not on the podcast. It's been a hectic past week for you, boy. So, I'm on site at the BMW Championship at Caves Valley, doing a little bit of work. So.
Yeah, so we'll have a in-depth course preview for that.
Oh yes. I'll be giving you the rundown. I was there today, and it was looking absolutely pure. Everything was top notch. And honestly, it's weird because it's Maryland, and there's just like it is a valley, Caves Valley, obviously, but it comes out of nowhere, and it's the most hilly like so much elevation change. So the grandstands around 16 and 17 and 18, like they're all really high, and you can see 16 green, 17 green, 18, the whole thing. Going to be an unreal thing, but we got some more to talk about before that.
The pictures you sent just the one from the water in front of the green, the one looked like it was, like you said, it was 17 maybe, or 18 green maybe it is. But it looks crazy. It looks like almost like that hole, the second picture you sent just now, it looks almost like the last hole at Quill Hollow, kind of like the creek running up one of the
that's not 18. Kinda. That's, I don't know what hole that is. It's I think 17.
Okay.
I think 17. It's par 3, and then it goes uphill. And there's like a creek to the right of 18 that like is just
that's what I'm thinking about. That's what I'm looking at right now. The creek to the right of 18.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about like the pond.
No. I'm talking about the creek, and the creek is like,
that is 18. Correct.
It reminds me of like Quill Hollow, even though the creek is on the left side of Quill Hollow, but like kind of like a similar, like, the creek is, you're kind of cutting across the creek, and then it's along the whole.
And I'll see a lot more of it over the next week.
I mean, we can talk about that next week. Looks like there isn't a blade of grass like missing at all. Like,
absolutely not. It's the vibe. Like, dude, I got there and I was like, the first thing I said was like, this doesn't give me like a Beth Page like major championship venue type vibe. It gives me like this is like an elite country club that just happens to be hosting a major championship, not major championship. Sorry, a major event. FedEx Cup playoffs. Like that's a major event. Like
huge.
But anyway, let's get back into Kevin Kisner and how he won last week. So we ended up going into a 6-player playoff. Everybody teeing off at the same time. Kind of sick.
Hilarious. I think it's so funny. They're all on the tee together. Yeah. Oh, it's so funny.
It kind of looks like a Sunday at a Muni course. Like when you just go out as like a 6-some. I think that was pretty funny. I mean, really had no business getting there. I mean, Russell Henley was in the lead Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and he went 1 over on Sunday. Didn't even make it into the playoff. You have that 6-man playoff first hole. Adam Scott puts it close, misses the putt. That would have beat everyone. So everybody goes up and down, makes par. Adam Scott misses his birdie putt, which was really close. And we get to the second playoff hole, and Kevin Kisner ended up closing it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously Justin Rose would have been in the playoff too if he made his putt, but on a 72nd hole. But it's kind of felt like I said last week too. I picked Kisner top 40, which I thought was an absolute lock, just because it felt like he doesn't have to hit that far, and he can kind of play it around, make a couple putts, hit a couple iron shots. It's not super long course, which I think helps him a lot. and he played well. Obviously, he won the golf tournament, and the playoff was, I mean, such like a hodgepodge of like random guys. There's Adam Scott, there's Kevin Kisner, Siwoo Kim, Brandon Grace,
Kevin Na.
Who was there was Kevin Na, and there's one more I couldn't tell you his name. But that's such a random collection of guys. Like you wouldn't they're all names like
it's a collection of guys. It's not the collection of guys you. It's the collection. I guess it's the collection of guys you'd expect at a Wyndham, but it's almost a Wyndham. You'd expect more random guys, but it's just so many like of those like mid-level like they all scream $7,800 salary to me.
Right.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
Yeah,
especially like Adam Scott. We haven't heard of Adam Scott in feels like months, like several months. We haven't heard of Adam Scott. Kevin
that swing he had on the par 3. Have you seen it? Like this,
I have not.
I feel like PGA Tour is posting it, like just Adam Scott highlights all weekend. His swing is just so pure.
Oh, it's always been so nice.
He does have the ideal golf swing, which is but it sucks that he missed the putt. Adam Scott hasn't won in a while either, so
he has not.
It would have been nice to see him win, but obviously it's always good to see Kevin Kisner win. He's a fan favorite, also just a player's favorite on tour. I posed the question this week on Reddit and mixed reviews. I mean, we had like 60 to 70 comments between the two posts, and I asked, should Kevin Kisner be on the Ryder Cup team?
I'll let you guys go first.
Good question.
I think it's, I mean, yeah, you go first.
I'll say we'll see how he plays over the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And that's a very neutral stance to take. But I mean, you can't just, if you're Steve Stricker, just given to Twitter talking about Kevin Kisner and why he's like such a likable guy. And yeah, obviously he just won this week, but can't give into that. You got to evaluate him over the next 3 weeks, evaluate how the other guys are playing, kind of just like, if it does make sense, I would absolutely love that because obviously he's a good team player. Last Ryder Cup, who was the captain last Ryder Cup?
Furyk, maybe. Or no, it's Furyk. Yeah, Furyk. Yeah.
He went just by the books, like who was the best, like who's the best player in the world, and how did that work out?
And then Phil Mickelson.
Yeah, who went 0-3 that week.
And like, how did that work out?
Terrible.
You know, so the Ryder Cup really is about strategy, and it's not just about putting together the 12 best guys in the I guess in the US, but I was gonna say the world, but you kind of get the point I'm making.
I mean, so I was hopping back and forth with this as I kept reading more and more comments. I mean, the pros for Kevin Kisner making it. I mean, obviously he's a likable guy. He's a good team player. I mean, in a locker room where you're gonna probably have Brooks Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau, and most likely Patrick Reed, like.
You really have to wonder how that's going to go.
You might need a glue guy in there, and Kevin Kisner is a perfect glue guy. So that's a pro. Another pro is just how good he is in match play. I mean, this guy's a different player when you put him in match play. I mean, he's won the match play event. He's come in the top 5 in match play events. I mean, he's just really good at match play. So that's one thing to take in consideration. But I mean, one of the cons is I believe Whistling Straits is going to be set up to be playing almost 8,000 yards. And Kevin Kisner is not a lawn hitter at all. And
especially into the wind.
He's somebody who went out and said, like for US Opens, like I can't compete because I can't hit the ball as far as these guys. And it's just like, there's no, like, I'm not going to be able to compete. So that is something that may put him off the team for me, just because I don't think you could go into a tournament with a guy like that who really can't hit the ball as far, as it's kind of a disadvantage, especially if you're playing a match against, somebody who could hit the ball as far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's what if he was on the team, like if he was put on the team, I think he would be really good if he was put on the team. Like maybe not amazing, but like put in a couple matches. I think he'd be like, he's like you say, he's a dog in match play. He kind of brings out that mentality, and like you don't really see that many guys with that record in match play. And like he would be he would love everything about it. He's, like you said, lovable guy. Everyone wants to play with him. Everyone likes him. Kind of a glue guy.
I would love Kevin Kisner to captain a Ryder Cup team in the future.
That'd be so much fun.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
But like Pat said, you can't, like, he's won one tournament this year and he won the Wyndham. Like he did, it's like he won the tournament, obviously, which is great. Good for him. Great one, good one. Like, you won a tournament. It's a lot of money, a lot of FedEx Cup points, which means a lot more money. It means you're in good form. But who'd you beat Adam Scott and Siwoo Kim in a playoff? Like, Justin Rose was in the field. Like, there was no one even like the top, like, I think it was like 10 in the FedEx Cup was in the field or something like that. Like, the field was terrible, which is he still won, but you can't be like, oh, he won the Wyndham and just put him in the Ryder Cup team.
You got to gauge how much stock you're putting into the fact that he won versus and kind of counter that with, like, also everyone on like the, not even just on Twitter, just like in the news is talking about that now. It's just a storyline that's picked up, and I think that he shouldn't just cave into it.
He shouldn't be. He shouldn't be caving into it. And like Greg said too, the Whistling Straits, not a good course for Kevin Kisner kind of guy. Like, if he was, like, it's different if they're playing in France, like they were a couple years ago. Like, that's perfect. But like a couple like a weird quirky course, but like Whistling Straits, where like a guy like Bryson is probably gonna be one of the better players that week, maybe, even though he's not great at match play, he just fits that golf course, which just hit as far as possible. Like, I don't know. But like you said, Pat, if Kevin Kisner goes out and plays unbelievable the next couple of weeks, like yeah, I would 100% put him on the team. He's just he just hasn't played well enough this year, and doesn't fit the mold really for that kind of golf course that they're playing at Whistling Straits.
Yeah, you kind of get what you see when it comes to Kevin Kisner. I mean, you get a guy who's going to be accurate off the tee, but not very well. I mean, he's 23rd in driving accuracy this year, but he's also 169th in driving distance. And his strokes gained approach and off the tee are not very good because of that. And I mean, he's a very good putter though, 12 strokes gained putting. So you got accuracy in putting, but not a lot of length.
If he was on the team, I would love it, and I would think he would actually do like well. I think he would actually win it like a match or two, but I just don't, like, looking at the strategy wise, I just don't think it makes a whole lot of sense now.
Looking at the Ryder Cup standings and team right now, I mean, there's some locks. I think there's really only one or two spots up for grabs right now, because Colin Morikawa, DJ, Bryson, Koepka, JT, and Schauffele locked in. Jordan Spieth is going to be locked in, of course.
Yeah,
I mean, you got to put Patrick Reed on the team for match play. He's 9th. And then, there's a couple of spots left. I think Patrick Cantley's probably earned himself a spot on the team.
Berger. I think Harris English has earned himself a spot.
Harris English
is in.
I mean,
like, you're basically
guys.
I don't know about Patrick Reed, like 100%. Like, obviously it's Patrick Reed and the Ryder Cup and everything like that. But like, there's really only one or maybe two spots really available for someone else to hop in, and like, I just don't think Kissner, like, he really has to like play lights out these next couple of weeks and just show everyone I can play in these like longer courses, and then he might, like, because he's not even like close to the
more we talk through it.
He's 8th. He's 18th, actually. He moved up.
18th. Okay.
The more we talk through it, the more I'm like, it just really,
it doesn't make
logistically sense. Like with Whistling Straits, as well as what we're talking about with this list of guys and how good Americans are.
Yeah.
It's be a real curveball. I think Scotty Scheffler's another guy that
I love. Scott. I really want Scotty Scheffler on the team. Yeah.
He played really well in the match play.
I wonder if a guy like Webb Simpson gets left off the team this year, because once again, he's not a very long hitter and he hasn't had the best of years. And even though he sits in the 13th spot, like, he's not a lock. So
I think these next couple of weeks will show a lot of guys, especially around the color, like a Sky Scheffler might have a lot of extra motivation just to try to get on the team.
And Webb Simpson has a lot of extra motivation because it really has been his spot to lose, I feel like. like
I agree.
Yeah,
on the
and
President's Cup team. I think he played fine, honestly.
Tony Finau as well. I mean, he just hasn't had a great year, and he sits in the 12th spot.
He's
right
a bomber,
now,
though.
Yeah,
but he's not a lock. I don't see him as a lock right now. So I see that there as being two spots left up for grabs. It's between Tony Finau, Webb Simpson, Scotty Scheffler, Kiz, Billy Horschel, Jason Kokrak. I mean, there's a lot of good American players, and there's two spots up for grabs. So
we don't get us wrong. We would all absolutely love if Kiz was on the team, but it just doesn't. I just don't think it makes sense right now. I think we all agree on that.
Ryder Cup's going to be unreal.
Oh,
I mean, the fact that we have the FedEx playoffs ahead of us, and we just talked about the Ryder Cup for that long.
I mean, should have been in the clubhouse.
Yeah, that's all right.
Discussion.
I mean, let's get back to the FedEx Cup playoffs.
We'll talk about the FedEx Cup playoffs.
Special edition of who's hot, who's not this week. FedEx Cup playoffs edition. I mean, let's get into that. So it's gonna be who's in, who's out. So who's in this week? Chesson Hadley finishes in the 125th spot, and he does it because who's out? Justin Rose missed a short putt on the 72nd hole.
Not even just because of that, because of he made a hole in one on 16, was it?
Yeah, was like down the stretch.
Yeah, a hole in one on 16, and
one of the best hole in one stories you'll hear.
Yeah, like it's his first ever hole in one. And like you get like the post route, like if you haven't seen the post run interview, like go watch it because it's unbelievable. Like he's so emotional, like you could tell like this means so much to him. It's a really, really, really cool moment, and like it's literally his first hole in one ever as a not even just on tour ever.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
And to come in this moment, like he's like basically if he did make that hole in one, he might have been, I don't know what the leaderboard was exactly, but he might have been out. He might have been out of the FedEx Cup playoffs. So,
and I mean, it sucks for a guy. It sucks for a guy like Justin Rose. He played well last week. He got himself. I mean, he wasn't in the playoff because he missed the putt on the last hole, but like he played well, and it sucks that he has to go out missing a short putt on the last hole.
Yeah, but like
the 126th spot, that sucks.
But like. It's so cool that Hadley's in at 125, and Rose has a major and all this stuff. Like
Chesson Hadley's one of those guys.
He's fine.
I watched Chesson Hadley just like when I first got into golf, and like you get that golf bug, like you're literally watching like Golf Channel just to watch Golf Channel, and I saw him on what was then the web.com tour, and I was like, oh, this guy's pretty sick. Mm-hmm. And then like obviously his PGA Tour career hasn't panned out quite the way maybe my 15-year-old 16-year-old self would have thought at that point. Right. But it just shows how long he's been like in the game, and I don't know how many FedEx Cup playoffs he's made, but I would assume
very little, maybe one,
very little, if not
his
first one. So
and the video,
pretty cool for him.
Go watch the video of the post run interview. Go watch the reaction to him making the hole in one. He jumps like 10 feet in the air, which is just hilarious.
Very fun.
Yeah.
So a couple of other notables who made some jumps this week. I mean, Matt Kuchar, he came into the week 124, so kind of on the bubble there. Ends up at 120, so he's in.
He's had a quiet year.
Very quiet.
Scott Piercy, he was in the dreaded 126 spot. Well, he moved up to 116 this week. Played really well. Roger Sloan was the big mover this week, besides Kevin Kisner, of course, but Kiz was in. Roger Sloan was in the playoff. He was 131 coming into the week. He moved all the way up to 92nd.
That's a big one too.
That's a really big jump. I mean,
close to the if he plays well again. 70. If you top 70 next week, if he plays well again next week, this week.
It could be another big move.
Who knows? It could be.
Now, some of the guys who missed out. I mean, we mentioned Justin Rose, the dreaded 126 spot. That sucks. Patrick Rogers 128. He lost his tour card.
Pat.
My guy.
I mean, that's surprising that he lost his tour card because he has played.
That guy's gonna rip it up on. Well, first of all, in the Q school, and 2 on the Corn Ferry. Wait, no. Can he just do Q school and get his tour card back?
He doesn't have to go to Q. No, you can't. He doesn't have to go to Q school. He's basically, we have to like look into like how like the whole like if you lose your tour card, where do you go after that? I think you just drop down to Corn Fair. I think it's just like basically just relegation or whatever. But I'm not. I don't know. I don't know what to deal with that kind of stuff.
Do you basically go back to the Corn Ferry Q school and work your way back?
Okay.
Card.
So okay.
You could earn it. You could earn it back through Q school. Or you could earn it back top 25 Corn Ferry. So
that's right.
I mean, and then some players. I mean, we'll mention it right now. Tommy Fleetwood, 137. He actually lost his tour card this week. 0 PGA Tour wins and 88 starts on tour, so no tour card. But he will have conditional status in 2022, so that there's another way you can.
And he'll play in a bunch of tournaments still.
Yeah, well, he'll still play in
just as many tournaments as he did before. Like he didn't play in that many.
He's playing European. He's playing European. There's no. We should talk about the new schedule a little bit too for next year. But there's not as many WGCs, and he'll be playing in those.
Oh, I actually have a little thing here on that. Let me find it real quick because there's also a whole thing about the PGA Tour and the European Tour.
Oh yeah, they're co-sanctioning events. That's right.
They're co-sanctioning events,
which I love. I like they're doing like one like
it's the Barbasol, the Barracuda, and the new Genesis Scottish Open. Will be co-sanctioned and count towards the PGA Tour's FedEx Cup and the European Tour's race to Dubai.
I love the coast. I don't know about the Barbasol and Barracuda. I could honestly care less about those, but like them co-sanctioning the Scottish Open makes sense. Depending if it's the week before the British Open,
yeah, it does.
Then I think that makes so much sense for the PGA.
I think
both sides would bring guys like that.
Like it's an alliance,
exactly. And you want guys are gonna want to go over to whatever Scotland. You said Scotch Open, yeah. So Scotland and prepare for the Open Championship the next week. Like it makes it more logistically possible for guys
and
like
those count towards Race to Dubai as well as FedEx Cup.
Yeah, which is perfect for guys like Tommy Fleetwood, stuff like that.
Too. Yeah,
it is.
I think going forward, I mean, I could see this partnership even expanding. So
I think it could be. I think it could too. I would love to see more tournaments
because that has been an issue that they have dealt with guys like Tommy Fleetwood or whatever, like
Louis,
Tyrrell Hatton, maybe, I don't know, just like guys like that who play
a lot of European
like
back and forth. Yeah,
back and forth.
Mm-hmm. I mean, okay, and two more guys I mentioned: Ricky Fowler, 134. He didn't make it. Well, he was close, but he didn't make it. And
he's still a status because he's still like top something on my list or whatever.
Same with Justin Rose. Like, Olympic silver medalist Rory Sabatini, 133. He didn't make
All
it.
my homies hate Rory Sabatini.
Apparently, now there is 25 new PGA Tour members coming from the Corn Ferry Tour. I mean, some of the notable. Mito Pereira,
Taylor Pendrith was one of them.
Is making it. Taylor Pendrith is one of them. Davis Riley, Will Zalatoris is on that list.
Congrats to him. Never heard of him before. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, watch out for him.
The PGA Tour app was like sent that notification out. I looked there. I was like, oh, Will Zalatoris, of course. So he's not playing the FedEx Cup playoffs, right?
No, he didn't.
He can't.
He didn't win.
Yeah, that sucks. If he won this week, I think he would have played in it, right?
Yeah, all he needed to do was win one tournament, I think, and then he was like a full-time PGA Tour.
You guys probably talked about that last week, right?
No, I don't think we did, but I think we talked about that like after like the Masters when he played so well then. Like that was when everyone was going crazy before, way before the dreaded putt at the Open. So
yes.
Yeah. I mean, I forgot to think about this, but I'm pretty sure I got to figure out what his name is. But there was somebody who made it from the Corn Ferry Tour who got a tour card who's been grinding for like years. David Skins, is that his name?
Skins, not
David Skins. So he's 39 years old. I think he's been grinding for like 8 or 9 years or something like that.
People's Champ of the Week.
People. That's what I was gonna say.
Is he the guy? Is he the guy he was doing DoorDash 8 months ago or something like that?
Yeah, I think so.
Crazy.
He's from England. Cool. I mean, yeah, he moved. So cool. He won the final regular season event to move into the top 25 and get his tour card. So that's
crazy story.
39 years old, making his PGA Tour debut next year. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
that is so awesome. Yeah.
So now that we've kind of gone over everything that happened past week, kind of everything that's going forward, let's get into the skins with the course preview. But first, a word from Roback.
You probably noticed us wearing some new Roback merch over the past few episodes, whether it was the hat both me and Jake are wearing right now. Trevor has one as well. A pullover or a collared shirt. We're partnering with Roback in 2021, and we couldn't be more excited. So head to the link in our bio, add the Roback merch you want, and you'll get 15% off just by using the link. So enjoy and crave activity.
All right, so it's skins for the Northern Trust. We're gonna have Jeek do the course preview as always, and Jeek, just to kind of tell people who don't really know how the FedEx Cup playoffs work, you can also maybe go over that.
Yeah, of course. So we have the top 125 in the FedEx Cup this week, and that's in the Northern Trust. Next week, it drops down to the top 70. So you're really going to want to look at that on the graphic when they're playing. There's going to be a green number or a red number at the top. If it's green, that means they're in the top 70. That'll change throughout the week. If you're in the top 70, you make it to the BMW Championship and you get to play in that. And then it cuts down to the top 30, and you get to the top 30, gets to the Tour Championship. And you want to be positioned pretty well in the Tour Championship because how they're doing it is like by standing. So I'm pretty sure the first player starts off like, was it 10 under or something? I forget what the number is.
Something like
and
that.
The second player starts off 9, 8, 7, and like it goes down to the 30. So whoever wins that wins it all, wins the Tour Championship, wins the FedEx Cup playoffs, and the big, was it $15 million or something?
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. So you definitely want to position yourself pretty well to get into that top 30 and as high as you possibly can going into the Tour Championship.
Yeah. So like, just to be clear, so like Colin Morikawa, he gets cut this week. He's still he's number one in the FedEx playoffs. He makes it to the BMW Championship.
Yeah, I mean, there's some guys.
What I'm saying is, you don't have to come in the top 70 this week.
No,
yeah,
there's always different scenarios, and
they were talking about it.
It's more so in like for the Tour Championship. I feel like just because it's like close, there's less players, and like they're able to like narrow it down in terms of scenarios. But like it's it's kind of cool. Like these like the Wyndham, they're talking about like, oh, this guy needs this to get into the playoffs, and like then it'll be the same this week, which it'll be intense. Like people are be grinding out there, which would be really cool to see, I think.
Yeah, they were talking about it earlier this week, or maybe a weekend, on the Golf Channel, and Louis Oosthuizen is not playing this week. He sits in the 8th spot right now, and I guess there's incentive to play, but he's probably going to move down a couple spots just because he's not playing.
Whoever Webb Simpson did that last year at the Northern Trust.
Yeah. And I don't know why. I don't think anyone's ever won the FedEx Cup playoffs by sitting out one of these events, but like people have gotten close and stuff like that. So you're still gonna make a lot of money if you're out there in the top 10. And sometimes if you're hurt or if you're not feeling like you could play well at one of these courses, sometimes sitting out's the right move, because if you put up a bad score, it's almost better to sit out. But
don't worry, he'll come to Caves Valley and he'll rip it up.
Yeah. Well, I think if you finish, like you say, if you finish top 10, if you're Louis Oosthuizen and you're finishing top 10 in the FedEx Cup at the end of this, like you're still walking away with over $1 million at that point still.
Yeah, so still pretty nice.
Something ridiculous. Like
So let's get into the course preview. We have Liberty National this week. Last time we saw it, 2019. Pat put in a couple of notes here that 9 of the top 11 players on the leaderboard finished inside the top 25 in strokes gained approach, which, like we said, is always the most important stat, I feel like, coming into the week. Most of the shots come in from 175 to 225. I believe most of the holes actually play between 450 and 500. So even par 4s gain 450 to 500.
Yeah, and like 30% or over 30% were also from like 100 to 150.
Yeah, I mean, so, it's not a
lot of it
super long course. It's 74-10, par 71. Wind's going to be a factor though, because it plays right off the water. There's a lot of tricky holes with the wind. I mean, a couple of the par threes are relatively long. I was taking a look at it. There's a couple par threes over 200, and then there's the signature hole, an 150-yard par three, but it plays into the swirling wind, so it's not quite that easy. And I mean, just looking at some other statistics, I mean, I think ball striking is a big thing at this course. You put in strokes gain approach and driving accuracy. I would just combine it together and put strokes gain ball striking in for that.
Yeah.
Ball striking is going to be big, and strokes gain around the green. I mean, like I said, swirling wind, there might be a lot of missed greens on the approaches. So you do have to have good up and down and ability around the greens to play pretty well. And just looking at, previous winner, I guess 2019, the leaderboard, Patrick Reed won. Kind of fits the bill. Pretty good ball striker, very good short game player. Abraham Answer second, Harold Varner third, in third, and John Rahman also tied third. So a lot of big names up there. I mean, it is the FedEx Cup playoffs, so big names usually show out in the FedEx Cup playoffs. And I mean, you just have to have a good all-around game to win these events.
So who would like to go?
Pat,
first?
You start. You won. You picked.
Yeah,
you.
You got the skin.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Honors.
All right.
Yeah,
true.
Honors.
I have three. I have 3 skins now. 16 to 13 to 3. So we're getting there. Hey, I have 2 winners. 2 of those skins are winners though.
Comeback season.
True. That's true. He's picked them in the really bad, worst weeks to probably do it.
Yeah,
for the worst weeks to do it.
Rom and Kissner. So anyway, yeah, my best bet, it didn't matter because Reed dropped out anyway, and I won. So, but my pick this week is Daniel Berger. So he's 6th. He's 6th in strokes gain approach on tour, as well as he's 6th in proximity from 175 to 200. I know that's not 175 to 225, but close enough. He's accurate off the tee. One of the best putters in the field. His experience here, he went 2-1 in the President's Cup that was here. So been seeing a lot of Daniel Berger talk this week, and I kind of love it. I feel like whenever you need guys to like ball strike, hit fairways, hit greens, you look at Daniel Berger, and he's 30th in stroke gain putting as well. So I feel like he shouldn't have too hard of a time. He's not a great wedge player, but like around the greens apparently. So we'll see though. I like it.
I love that pick. I was gonna do that, and I saw you had it, so I couldn't take the Daniel Berger pick. But I love Daniel Berger this week.
Trevor, you got to get to the document faster. This happens.
I know.
Way too many times.
I know.
Yeah. And then my best bet is Corey Connors top 40. I was originally looking at Corey Connors over like Tyrrell Hatton, and then it was minus 105, and then I was like, if it's inside minus 150, I might as well just go top 40, and it is. So I'm liking Corey Connors this week. Another ball striker, obviously. He can play well in wind. I feel like there's no explanation for Corey Connors that I really need to go deeper into.
He's just approach.
Corey Connors.
Just say ball striker.
So solid.
Ball striker.
Stroke gain approach.
Yeah, he's just a ball striker. So
yeah,
I'll go.
I'll let you go next. You got your best bet last week, which was also Kevin Kisner. So
also Kevin Kisner. I just changed my winner. I was gonna go with Joaquin Niemann because I feel like it's based off of the trend. It's the guys that have said we're due have won every other week. But then he's not great driving accuracy, but I still think he could play well. But so I'll go with Abe Answer, 2,800, my guy. Talk about a guy who's just gonna hit straight off the tee, hit great approach shots from whatever distance it is, and a good putter. Just won a couple weeks ago too. And then I'll go my best bet, Victor Hovland over Bryson at even. I don't love Bryson this week. He seems kind of out of sorts, kind of just all over the place. And this feels like a course where, kind of like a Le Golf National, where in France, where it's kind of quirky. You don't need to hit driver everywhere. Kevin Kisner was 3-0 in matches here when he was on the President's Cup, however many years ago that was. Patrick Reed's won here before. It's kind of a scramblers iron player paradise, if you could say. So I don't think Bryce is going to do that great. I think Hovland is poised for a good week this week. I think we haven't heard from him in a while. I think he's going to play well. And he's 20th in strokes gain approach. So
I like that take on Bryson. I mean, I don't think anyone's stock has dropped more than Bryson's stock has dropped. Just what's been going on the last couple of weeks. I mean, he hasn't really played that well, and then just the drama that's been happening. I mean, I just like Bryson's stock's dropping quite a bit. I feel
it is 100%. Like,
but obviously, there's going to be weeks in courses where he has a clear advantage, and he will be in the top of the leaderboard.
Like if they're playing at the Rocket, like the Rocket Mortgage is perfect for Bryson. You just
or like even like a venue like Torrey Pines.
Yeah, Torrey Pines, even Whistling Straits. I think he'll play great at the Ryder Cup and Whistling Straits. Even though he's not good at match play, I think he'll be that course fits him perfectly. But not here. I don't think that makes sense here.
Yeah, I like that. I'll go next. My winner, I'm gonna go with Patrick Cantley. He's 33-1. He's 28th in strokes gained approach and 19th from 175 to 200, which is a stat we kind of singled out. But he's also 8th in strokes gained around the green, which is an important stat this week. He's a very good wedge player, really good scrambling around the green, and 14th strokes gained off the tee as well. So I mean, he's pretty good all around. Has a couple wins this year. I wouldn't say he's fully a lock for the Ryder Cup. I mean, he's a high percentage, but like you have a couple of bad weeks and all of a sudden he might be out on the outside looking in. So he will want to play well, looking at going into the Ryder Cup. And I don't know. I just kind of like it. I feel like he's another guy that's kind of fit for this course and a great all around player.
GQ dirty dog with this best bet.
So my best bet, I was struggling to find one and I'm like, you know what? Go big or go home. My best bet is there will be a playoff plus 300. So I there's been a ton of playoffs the last couple of weeks. I don't know why. I don't know what's happening, but like pretty much every time I tune into an event, there's a bunch of guys near the top of the leaderboard and they're bound to go into a playoff. I mean, we had 6 people last week. How often do you see that? So I mean, I don't think it'll be that. Like, I don't think it will go 6 people, but I could definitely see a 2 or 3 person playoff going into an event like this week.
So yeah,
I agree. This is the course where I feel like there could be a playoff like that, which I think that'd be a lot of fun. It'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah. And then did we put in a first round leader?
I did put in a first round leader, and it happens to be Trev's winner, Abraham Ancer, 35.
I did not. That was not on purpose. I knew it was a first round leader, but that's not on purpose. I just love Abraham Ancer.
I mean, he's a guy. Last time he played here, he finished in 2nd place. I mean, he's a guy who could go low on any given day, and I don't know. I feel like I'm feeling a first round leader from Abraham Ancer.
I'm gonna randomly throw in Tyrrell Hatton as a first round leader, just as my own personal. I don't know. I just feel it. I feel something out of Tyrrell Hatton this week. Weirdly,
I was gonna say another
clip
guy
that if he wins.
Another guy not first round leader, just guys I like. I like Brian Harmon. I'm kind of going I think even Kiz could play well this week again. He's playing great.
You want to hear a bet that I kind of like, just as like a miscellaneous bet here? Mm-hmm. It has some value. Max Homa top 20 at plus 500.
A lot of value. I don't hate it.
A lot of value. He's an iron player.
Where is he on the FedEx Cup? Do we know?
I'm not sure. I would assume he's probably he has a win, so maybe the 60s, 50s.
27. He's 27th.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's gonna want to make some moves. I mean, you want to be up as close as possible to the top of the leaderboard going into the next couple of weeks. So you need to play well. You need to get hot for these 3 weeks, pretty much.
I like Homa here. A lot great iron player. I think if you're a great iron player, it can hit in the fairway, and that's all you really need, honestly. It's a great recipe for here. So.
I mean, while we're in guys we like, I mean, this is not a hot take at all, but Jordan Spieth, I mean, I think he's fit.
Absolutely. You got to throw the obligatory.
I mean, he's 7th in strokes gained around the green. I mean, he's been pretty good at ball striking this year. Good iron player.
He's been accurate off the tee.
Pretty accurate. Recently. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I mean, if he putts pretty well, I could definitely see him winning.
Which
event like this?
Spieth. I mean,
Spieth and Morikawa just fits this course perfectly.
I mean, Jordan Spieth T6 the last time he played this course, 2019.
What course does Colin Morikawa not fit perfectly?
Yeah, there's like if you're talking
the thing is with Colin Morikawa,
super
approach. You're right. This one more so just because of how much iron play affects everything.
Exactly. The thing with Colin Morikawa is not how much does this course suit him. It's how much of an advantage does he have on the field because of how good he is at everywhere. It's like how hard is the course and like what kind of conditions like wind and all that are being taken into account.
I mean,
like that leg up because of how good of a ball striker he is.
He can win anywhere, but if they're playing a course where ball striking and especially iron play is at a premium and so like the most important, like which is a lot, but like a course like this or a course like St. George's, for example, which you obviously want at, but like, where you don't necessarily need to drive the ball super far, and where iron play is super important, like he's gonna be always near the top of the leaderboard. I mean,
the way I look at it with Colin Morikawa is that he's gonna hit the ball in the fairway. His iron play is gonna be really good, probably top 10 in the field. If he putts well, he'll probably win. If he doesn't putt well, then he'll finish pretty well. But
if all he has to do is get his putter hot if his putter is even just a little bit hot, I think he's just locked to be in your top of the leaderboard this week.
I mean, he's minus 125 to finish top 20. I mean, that's
I love that value.
Is that a borderline absolute like mortal luck?
I think it is. I really think it is. Like that's a mortal luck. That might be our bet of the week.
I think Jordan Spieth minus 155 at top 20 is also a mortal lock.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's these two guys fit this course very well.
They do, for sure.
Which is good. Good for them.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good tournament. I'm actually very excited to see who's at the top of the leaderboard at the end of the
year. It's going to be fun to watch on TV because of the views and everything like that.
There's going to be a lot of big names up there, but I feel like there's also going to be someone who's fighting to get into that top 70s, looking to make a move. So that's the other thing. You're looking to see who's going to win the tournament, but you're also looking to see who's going to survive to next week, who's going to make a big move. So that's why the FedEx Cup is pretty awesome.
Let's get in the clubhouse. And let's look at the 71 through 125 guys. And I mean, obviously, you're not going to say 71 because it's not a hot take. But who do we think's gonna, make that move? Push and kind of make a big move up?
Wow, Jason Day is 110. I didn't even know he was still playing this year.
I'm gonna go to Adam Scott. He made a big move last week. He was 121 up to 82. I mean, he's got a
great iron player too.
Good iron player, good short game player. I mean, it's all about the putting. He's at 82 right now. I feel like he can move into that top 70 if a good finish this week.
I'm gonna go with give me Doug Gim.
Okay.
I don't know why.
I was looking at that.
I think I saw him earlier on maybe a stroke gain approach thing. I think he's somewhere up there. I'm not sure. He's first in stroke gain approaches from 175 to 200 yards.
Give me two guys.
All right.
Give me one. Give me Ian Poulter to move up from 79.
I like Poulter.
And give me Gary Woodland to move up from 114 or
jump.
Yeah, 114.
Yeah,
don't hate it. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of quality names that could miss out next week. So
anyone think he's gonna miss like from that's inside?
Gonna fall down from inside the top 70.
That's a tough one.
Give me Aaron Wise. Haven't heard his name once all year. He's gonna fall out.
Martin Laird.
Yeah. Also, I agree.
I hope he comes back and doesn't miss out, but I think Matthew Wolff is.
I was just looking at that.
Yeah.
And
I think low-key think Matt Fitzpatrick could make a big jump today or this week. I think I like him to make a big jump from 60 to maybe get in the 30s and maybe early 40s and then move up the next week into the Tour Championship.
I think even looking ahead to next week, I think Mackenzie Hughes is a name is going to make. I think he's going to make a lot of moves this week.
He's a very hot and cold player, and like he gets hot a couple tournaments in a row, and all of a sudden like he's creeping up, moving up the leaderboard. Into the top 30. So
exactly.
We'll see how that plays out.
And then do we want to just give our final picks on like who we think is going to win the ahead of the FedEx Cup? Just who we think is going to take it?
Yeah. You guys go first.
I will go with
It's hard not to say
Spieth or Morikawa,
but I think Rahm could easily. I think I'm gonna go with Rahm.
Yeah, Rahm's name definitely sticks out there at 5th, like because he's the best player in the world, probably, like with Colin Morikawa right now. His name sticks.
I'm gonna go JT.
Yeah, I haven't heard a lot from JT recently.
He hasn't been playing that well, honestly.
We haven't heard a lot from him, and I think he's gonna be trying to get ready for the Ryder Cup. I think he's really pumped for that. And 2, I think this is the year where people JT's not playing great in majors, but this is the year where he's like, he can win the Players and the FedEx Cup. Like he might, that's a ton of money for not winning a major. I think he can take advantage kind of the system. And
yeah,
all right.
Maybe I'm going to stick with what I like this week. I think Patrick Cantley's going to win this week, and I think he's going to move up, and I think he's going to end up winning the FedEx Cup playoffs.
I like that too. I could definitely see that.
He's at the 3rd spot right now, so
yeah.
And then very last thing that I just wanted to bring up quickly. So we're at episode 94. What any ideas for the 100th episode? I know we're still 6 weeks away, I guess 5 weeks away or whatever it is.
It is tough to think about because we're all working now, so it's tough to be like.
I don't mean anything big, just
this,
just something. I don't know.
We'll brainstorm. Maybe put out a poll on Twitter, Instagram,
yeah,
and
we'll figure something out.
Kind of crazy. We're all officially, as of today, Saturday, and for Trev since May, working.
I know.
Wow.
We went from juniors in college at the start of it. Now we're working men.
Yeah. So if the podcast gets shorter coming up, that's the reason why.
And we're not going to let it. We're probably just going to cut out all the dumb stuff that maybe you guys don't like anyway. And we're just going to, try to condense it into a more informational, but still entertaining. We're going to
make the
value
easier.
The value of it isn't gonna go down. But the podcast might change a little bit because, just real life things going on. But yeah.
Exactly.
So big week ahead.
We'll see you at Caves Valley next week.
That's there on site, so we're gonna have.
I am there.
You want to definitely gonna want to tune in next week.
Also be at the Ryder Cup in
That's true.
or at the end of September.
That'll be really cool.
So I won't be there during the tournament actually, but I'll be there before and after. But yeah, so that's just how that's the way she goes. But yeah, we'll see you next week at the BMW. Hopefully some cool things happen out there in Liberty National. See you next week.